Our gathering song for the month of October, number 402, From You I Receive. Please rise in body or in spirit. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. We are grateful to gather for a time of inspiration, reflection, and connection. Whether you join us today with joy in your heart, weighted with burdens, or searching for meaningful connections, we are glad that you are here. I'm Reverend Diana Smith. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a relatively tall white woman in my mid-40s with short, curly white and brown hair, wearing a black suit and my very colorful Universe stole, standing in UUS's pulpit in the front of our sanctuary. This room and the adjoining Religious Education Commons are filling with people from all ages. There are many people out there who are welcome to come on in. And through the window walls of our sanctuary, we connect with the natural world around us, where fall is in full form. And if you look up while you walk under trees, you may find yourself in an umbrella or curtain of yellow or orange or green. It is wonderful, isn't it? As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who've cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk and Meskwaki, and the Oceti-Sakowin nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together and work together to create a radically welcoming spiritual community. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support each other. We're guided by the shared principles, sources, and values of our living religious tradition. And this morning, as we continue exploring our value of nurturing gratitude, we'll explore how UUS is a home for hope for many people in many different ways. If doing something with your hands helps you, we invite you to visit the soul work table outside our sanctuary doors, to pick up an exploratory guide or coloring sheet related to today's service, or to pick up something else to work with. If you're newer to our congregation, we invite you to learn more about us after the service by talking with a greeter or by filling out the visitor form in the YouTube show notes if you're visiting us online, so that we can connect with you. And our call to worship comes from the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage, who writes, "Rejoice, rejoice with full hearts, beloved people of blessing, rejoice. May this time of worship celebrate what we know at our core. Blessings are real and ours to claim and radiate. Blessings are abundant and ours to revel in and pass along. Blessings are transformational and ours to be challenged by as we grow towards the faith that we know we can be. Rejoice."
Our opening hymn this morning is number 311, Let It Be a Dance. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times. dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Let the sun shine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
I'm Alan Swanson, a worship associate, tall, old Swede, with black and green on and glasses. As a Unitarian Universalist, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary, safety, and hope, to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Edie lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. Be in the community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. We also light a candle for justice and healing as a reminder of our interdependence with Earth and all the members of the global community, especially the most vulnerable. We light this candle so that we may not be numb to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together we create resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of the Ukrainians, whose unbelievable bravery remains steadfast after years of assault. The Palestinians, who hope to return to their homes in Gaza, even though these have been leveled and nothing remains. And our own fear and frustration with a multitude of events taking place within our borders. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps lift up prayers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nick Kaplan. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the grateful director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UUS. And this morning, many of you have already mentioned my fresh cut, so thank you. It's feeling much cooler outside now. This month, we've spent some time talking about how UUS is a home, right? Right, thank you. I appreciate the affirmation. It means we've done it. We've spent the month talking about how UUS is a home. And how UUS is a home in ways that maybe we haven't thought about before. Maybe that UUS is a home for somebody else in a way that it's not a home for us. We had a lovely video at the beginning of the month that Ian produced that included many of the faces that I see here today, talking about how UUS was a home for each of those individuals. And then the following week, our children and youth were in a video talking about how UUS is a home for all kinds of things to them. And it kept going. All month we've been talking about this. So what have you learned? How is UUS a home for someone else in a way that you weren't previously aware? You all have time to think about that. Because first, the rest of the worship team up on the chancel is going to tell you what they have learned. You can, which one do you want?
Whichever one is on. How about this? Okay. Okay, so something I learned was more about how UUS is a place for people with many different backgrounds and identities to find religious community, where we can ask questions and have the conversations that help us grow spiritually and ethically. So I'm not talking, okay. All right, so I did know that it was this place where we can ask questions, but I learned a lot more about how it is that place where a lot of different people can ask questions. And I was also reminded of how UUS is an amazing place to find little treasures like acorns.
This month, I've learned, and I've really observed, and I've learned more about how UUS is a home for covenantal relationships. So we practice being in an interdependent faith community where flourishing must be mutual for it to be real. Right? As we can ordain her. As Robin Wall Kimmerer reminds us, being in covenant is an active practice. And sometimes we mess up and we do make mistakes. And this is part of being in relationship. And we do the necessary work to come back into covenant.
Thank you. That reminds me of a couple of things that the children had put up on the whiteboard when they were talking about UUS is a home for making mistakes and pushing boundaries safely. Yeah. Alan, would you like to share what you've learned?
Yeah, I didn't know
It's on. We just have to.
I didn't know I was going to do this, but it's not that hard. Closer?
Yep. Nice.
I learned how much I love everyone in this group and all the new people who come in. I just feel that it's a place to go. I look forward to it every Sunday and other activities as well. But it's a great place where you feel like everyone is different, like the flower ceremony. With thorns and all, we love everyone here, and we get together, and that's what I love about this, and that's what I learned to think about more this past month.
Thank you. Now, what have you all learned? this month? How is UUS a home for someone in a way that you hadn't thought of? Yeah, how is UUS a home? It's a home for teaching, and even the students here are teaching people. So much so when I talk to people about being a teacher, a leader in our religious education classroom, I say just that. You'll be amazed at what you learn from the children and youth. UUS is a home for safety. Some of us, we haven't felt unsafe in other areas of our life. Maybe we're recognizing how UUS is a home for safety, or a home of safety for people in a way that we hadn't personally experienced before. A home for safety, yes. UUS is a home for music of all kinds. Wonderful, yes. Yeah, Jeff. Yes, so Jeff said that he's heard repeatedly, this is a home for people to be their authentic selves in a way where they're challenged in other parts of their lives, but they can show up here at UUS as their whole authentic self. Yeah. It's a home for young people and an opportunity to journey and shape themselves. We saw Stevie in the video that second week. This is a space for learning your own truth. Yeah, thank you. Yes. So Colleen was saying it's a home for being able to see someone's face and know that we're here and we know each other and we love each other, even if we don't know each other's names. Oh gosh, I love how talkative choir is today. This is amazing. I'll take two, looking at the time, I'll take two more. Miriam, yeah. UUS is a home for everyone, every spiritual path possible, and we embrace everybody's truth. Did I hear that correctly? Journey. Thank you. We embrace everyone's journey. Wonderful. And there were, yeah, you. It is a very welcoming place where everyone can belong. Thank you. We've learned a lot this month. And as Unitarian Universalists, we believe in the lifelong search for truth and lifelong learning. So even though in a few days our theme changes, I encourage you to keep looking, keep learning. How is UUS a home for others? How is UUS a home for you? Thank you. Each week, when they head to class, our children light a lantern as a symbol of the love and hope that goes with them as they explore our faith. Children, youth, teachers, please come forward as Riley lights our lantern from our chalice, and let us all join in singing Be Open as children, youth, and teachers head to religious education. The words are on your screen.
Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye.
So, as we just discussed, this month we have been learning a lot about the ways that UUS is a home for hope, a home for many different people who call this congregation home. Earlier this month from Mary McMurray, we heard about being part of and deepening her justice work by building relationships with refugee and immigrant families that UUS has sponsored. Ian Colley shared with us about how UUS has helped him and his growing family clarify their values, change their lives to be more in alignment with their values, find community and support through life changes, including illness, and be a supportive community for their child. Last week, Andrea Smith reflected on not looking for a congregation when they moved here from Baton Rouge because of the fear of running into white Christian nationalists, homophobia, and sexism, but then deciding to look for a congregation after the elections a year ago and finding UUS, a place where they're growing spiritually and living out what they believe in the company of others. We heard from our children and youth about learning, teamwork, compassion, caring for others, making mistakes, being a place to test boundaries in safety and care, play, love, belonging, acceptance, and so much more. And this morning we just heard so many additional things. Intentionally cultivating a home for hope is so crucial because of how much and how easily scarcity, fear, isolation enter our lives. When this month began, we started by exploring the myth of scarcity in our culture and how we counter that. Because capitalism, the market economy, flourishes on this message, on the underlying philosophy, the myth of scarcity. A story that enough, which is defined by continual growth, want rather than need, and more for you means less for me, because the flourishing of one can be separated from the flourishing of all, because there is no trust in mutuality, that enough isn't enough. Our capitalist culture must establish a sense of scarcity in order to survive, which is compounded by our current American government and society, which uses scarcity to deepen division and maintain power. While growing authoritarianism is a somewhat different problem, the two, the scarcity mindset of our capitalist market economy culture and the growing authoritarianism, are developing ways to thrive on each other. We feel this in our lives even more every day and every week. This message, this underlying myth of scarcity and separation, runs counter to our understanding as UUs, that all flourishing is mutual, and our values of interdependence, generosity, justice, equity, and love. And so it's particularly important to notice, because noticing is the first step to countering, to addressing a problem. And that's why we began this month with that exploration. So throughout this month, I've been working on noticing when a feeling of scarcity or a lack of abundance is coming up for me. In a moment, I'm going to ask y'all about where in your life you're feeling scarcity or a lack of abundance. So while I give you a minute to think, here are some places that scarcity has shown up for me this month. One place I've noticed it is when folks who have a more nationalized health care plan, like my mom, talk about health insurance benefits and how much or little they pay for care. Now, I have good health insurance and I can manage my premiums and deductibles, and yet, given how messed up our system of health care is, I pay a lot, and this congregation pays a lot for me to have that health care. And there are so many complexities to this problem, and that comes up for me a lot. I've also noticed the myth of separation come up whenever there's talk of either marginalized communities, whether I'm part of those communities or not, or talk of how to address the growing political divisions and polarization. And I've also noticed a feeling of scarcity come up around how to use my time off, to recharge, to build community, to care for family, to nourish my body, and to be creative. Sometimes I can feel like those are in competition with each other, and I feel scarcity. And so I notice. In a bit, we're going to get to the next piece of this, but first, where in your life are you feeling the myth of scarcity? Where are you feeling scarcity or lack of abundance? If you want to share a few of them, I'd be happy to repeat them back. Where are you feeling scarcity or lack of abundance? Kathy, I think that's Kathy back there? No, maybe it's not Kathy. Sorry, back there. Yes. Yes. Sorry, Allie. Yeah, sorry, Allie. I just saw you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So one of our members shared that about job loss of a spouse, and how scarcity is showing up through loss of income, through unemployment, through loss of benefits, and then the loss of a dog, and then adopting a new dog into their family in memory of that. I'll take one or two other things. Where is scarcity or the lack of abundance showing up? Yeah.
Feeling for others in their loss of having a safe space.
Yeah. So loss is showing up in people losing a sense of safety in their for particularly marginalized people, but feeling of having a loss of safety given our current climate. Anyone else want to share? Yeah.
I'm feeling a loss of hope. My son was recently furloughed. And,
Yeah.
when I talk to my friends about this situation, I do feel hopeless.
Yeah. So a loss of hope because of an adult child who has been furloughed. Yeah. And I saw one more hand, so I'll just go ahead and take one more. Yeah.
I feel a scarcity in trust with people, with strangers.
Yeah, feeling a scarcity of trust with people, with strangers. Feeling like there's not as much there, maybe, as there used to be. Thank you for sharing these hard things. It's important that we are able to talk about these things. This is part of what being in community with each other means, that we hold space for the hard things with each other. Because we're in this. We're in the hard things, and we're also in the good things together. As a congregation, part of what being a home for each other, part of what being a home for hope means, is that we're in the hard stuff, we're in the good stuff. We experience, and that we can find ways to experience abundance even in the midst of the hard stuff through how we're in community together. because we experience it in the people who bring food after surgery or a hospital stay, in the friends or the people we know a little bit from Sundays who reach out to listen, to support in the midst of something hard, when we notice people's faces out in front of us whose names we don't know, but where we get to feel connected. We get invited back into abundance, even in the midst of scarcity, by the person who invites us to go to a show or for a walk, or who takes us up on our invitation. And we find it in our communal spiritual practices on Sundays, and in so many other places. And so, when have you witnessed in your life or in this congregation places of abundance? Maybe this past month, or maybe beyond. I'm going to give you a moment to think about that while I grab a drink of water. But when have you witnessed in your life or in this congregation places of abundance, whether it's this past month or somewhere beyond? What are some things you'd like to share with folks? Some places you've witnessed abundance around here? Yeah.
Last week I talked about how important belonging is, and I have noticed an abundance of belonging being a member here.
So noticing an abundance of belonging being here. I think I saw a hand. Oh, yes.
An abundance of unity on that last song.
An abundance of unity on the last song, which we get to sing one more time later. Yes. The willingness of people to support the walk to end Alzheimer's that she had mentioned to folks, and inviting them into doing that together. A couple more, yes. Yeah, so an abundance of being welcomed and accepted. People welcoming her back after an absence, after a time when she couldn't be here for a while. Okay. Yes, one more, yeah.
Creation, so you're inspired to create music, but also just creation, people have new ideas, people have, like, we're giving new ideas,
Yeah.
just different types of creation.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so creation and abundance through creation, through creating with the choir, but also through people sharing ideas. I know that I was experiencing that yesterday when I met with the worship associates, and it was wonderful. And I experienced that whenever we work together on Sunday worship services. So when we notice, what we attend to helps us grow and change things. It helps us change ourselves, our communities, and the world. And so I'm going to pick back up on that in a little bit. But first, let's enter into a time of celebrating our joys and sorrows. Madison?
Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. And as we enter into our time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we acknowledge the joys and the sorrows of our congregation, some of which has been shared this morning. We do this by dropping stones into a bowl of water, symbolically immersing our personal joys and sorrows into the flow of all life's joys and sorrows. The water surrounds and holds the stone just as we are surrounded and held by the love and support of this congregation. For those who would like to share their joys or sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a compassionate connection circle in the Walnut Room in the RE Commons immediately after today's worship service. These circles, which happen on the second and fourth Sundays, are opportunities to share with and support each other in our lives' journeys. If you're participating in our service elsewhere, you may wish to meditatively hold a stone, wash your hands, or meditate on an object near you. And now, if you are in the sanctuary and feel called to do so, please come forward. Take a stone from the basket and place your stone in the water as we sing together.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
Let's take a big breath in. Release it. Will you please join me in a time of prayer and contemplation? Spirit of life, Spirit of love, today we celebrate this community. We celebrate the abundance and the generosity of this congregation. We celebrate the ways this congregation is saying yes, affirming our generosity, our interdependence, and the possibilities for transformation as we seek to live love more fully and fiercely into this world. May our prayers generate resilience and may our prayers create hope. May it be so. Amen.
How we give and what we do with our lives is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month is the Free Lunch Program. This morning, Diane Platt from Iowa City Free Lunch Program is here to share how UUS's partnership continues to impact this vital program.
Good morning. I don't think I did that. My name is Diane Platt. My pronouns are she, her. I am a short, middle-aged woman, and I'm very, very pleased to be with you here this morning. I've been co-director, director of Kitchen and Volunteers at Free Lunch Program for about 5 years, and working with the UUS team is one of my favorite parts of my role. The UUS team is an amazing community because you are so filled with vibrant, interesting individuals, and I've loved getting to know everybody that I've met so far from UUS. You also make amazing food, so I'm really, really grateful for that, and so are our guests at Free Lunch Program. So thank you for the commitment that this congregation has shown to Free Lunch Program, and thank you for your continued service with the organization. My father-in-law weekly likes to ask me if I have any stories from Free Lunch Program, and the answer is always yes. So I brought 2 stories to share with you this morning. Both happened yesterday, as a matter of fact. The first connects really well with the theme, the messages that I was hearing here this morning. There was a person that I hadn't seen before at Free Lunch Program. It was a new face, and multiple times I overheard him telling the volunteers how grateful he was for the meal, that it was delicious food, which it was, and that he was just so glad that they were there and so thankful for what they were doing. And multiple times I heard him say, "This is what makes this country great." And it gave me pause because I haven't heard a lot of people saying lately about what makes this country great. But I realized he is absolutely right, that when we show up for each other and take care of our most basic needs, that does make our country great. So that was a beautiful thing that I was privileged to witness and happy to share with you. The other story from yesterday, being director and being there almost every day gives me the opportunity to celebrate the joys that people get to experience even in the midst of very, very challenging lives. So this week, one of our regular guests moved from being unhoused to having an apartment, which is wonderful. And one of the other guests told me about that because he wanted to help her furnish this apartment. She didn't have anything to put in the apartment yet. And so he knew about houses into homes and was seeing if I could be a referral or somehow get her connected with that agency. But I was so touched that kitchen tables are where things happen, right? People gather around food and take care of each other around food, and relationships are formed there. And we see that over and over in our dining room. The guests who come to eat together are really taking care of each other. And they're giving not out of an excess, but out of what they have. So it was a privilege for me, and I was very grateful to be in the position to be able to witness that again and bring it here to share with you. So thank you again for all you do. I think you are amazing. I love working with UUS and with you all, and thank you for having me here this morning.
in the sanctuary, all cash collected goes directly to our community partner agency and the Community Common Fund. If you're writing a check, please use the memo line to designate the purpose as for our community partner, your pledge, or a gift to support our operating expenses. You can follow the instructions on the screen to give online or via text. Your offerings are a sign of your commitment to this congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
Coming to the edge, running on the water. 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 Coming to the edge, running, running, coming to the running, 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 running on the water. Running, 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 coming to the running, 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 running on the water. Running, 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 coming to the
Wonderful. So earlier, we began to explore how UUS is a home for hope for many different people, as well as the many different ways that we use our gifts to make UUS what it is. Certainly just heard some of that. Last week, Madison left us with 3 questions. What are you grateful for? What are your gifts? And how are you sharing them? What our gifts are and how we're called to share them changes over time. I've experienced this in changes in my jobs, my family, and within my ministry, both as I've ministered to different congregations and within any given congregation, as the needs change and the world changes and I change. And so, even though we are running short on time, I just can't help myself. I'm going to ask, what is something that you learned this month about how you can share your gifts, or about how someone else is sharing their gifts at UUS in this point in time? Keep your answers short so I can take a few of them, but what are some things that you learned this month about how you can share your gifts or how someone else is sharing your gifts here? Give me a few. Music. Prison ministry. Sorry, hit two. Pastoral care, yes. Covenant groups, yes, those covenant groups. Religious education, yes. Board service? Is that what I heard? Math and finances, yeah. Lots of different things. 257 emails, the free lunch program. Oh my goodness, and we can just keep going. So many ways. And those, I love what Lucy just said, 257 emails. I know that I look at my email box sometimes and I think, oh my goodness, how did I get so many emails and what am I going to do with them? How am I ever going to get through this? But those emails are a gift too, aren't they? They're a gift asking us, what can we do together? Thanks for reminding me of that, Lucy. I got called into, when you said that, I heard in myself that little scarcity voice coming up. Oh my goodness, 257 emails. I got that little scarcity voice and I thought, what am I going to do with that? Where's the gratitude? Where's the abundance here? Thank you. Thank you for helping me there. Always more work we can do, eh? Well, this month, one of the things that we've been talking about is nurturing gratitude and how it connects with stewardship. Stewardship is, globally speaking, about how we care for something that we've become part of, or for something for which we've been given responsibility. It's about how we nurture generosity in our lives and communities. It's about how we help ensure that it remains healthy and can carry on to benefit others. It's about how we tend the relationships in our lives, how we respond to the fact that all flourishing is mutual and live into a life of abundance with whatever resources, whatever gifts we have. It's about a lifelong journey of sharing our gifts and resources in varying ways as those change and as the world and our congregations change. And of course, as part of talking about stewardship and how we share our gifts, we've been talking about financial resources and how we spend money. Hats off to Susan for bringing that up too, and how that reflects her values. And having the financial resources to pay staff, to keep programming going, and to keep this space open and running well is important. It is so important to keep UUS a vibrant place, a sanctuary, and a beacon. It is crucial that we support liberal institutions in these times. Without strong liberal institutions, including and often particularly strong congregations, we will not be able to create the world that we all need in order to survive and thrive. UU congregations are made by the people who are part of them. That includes our governance, how we engage in the wider community, the programming we offer, how we support each other, and our finances, all the things that y'all just mentioned throughout this entire service, this entire month. And so financial stewardship of our congregation is something that we can all participate in, whether we're a member or a friend, whatever the amount of financial resources we have. Through our stewardship, we break the myth of independence, of selfishness, of separation, of scarcity. Me and mine become ours, both for our present and our future. Through our stewardship, we nurture generosity. We attend to how we're part of the covenant of reciprocity. May we, each and all, nurture that covenant and our place within it. So may it be. Blessed be. Amen. Now Chris Taylor is bringing up our little house and is going to tell us about stewardship. Let's see what we're going to learn.
I'm not getting tired. I'm not going to miss schlepping that around. Good morning. It is good to see everyone here together. I am Chris Taylor. My pronouns are he, him. Before I give the update on the numbers, Reverend Diana was just talking about gratitude, and I want to take this opportunity as we close out the campaign to recognize the stewardship team that has done such a phenomenal job. If you're on the stewardship team, can you please stand and be recognized? These folks have put in so much time over the last 3 weeks and several months prior, getting everything set up, and any success is due to their hard work, so thank you all. So today does mark the end of our formal stewardship pledge campaign to secure commitments for the 2026 operating budget. We're going to continue to chase down pledges over the next couple of months. I do want to share an update on the progress we made since starting the formal campaign 3 weeks ago. As usual, the number on the house is out of date since I printed it, hence the large asterisk. As of the start of service this morning, we've received over $370,000 in pledges, which is fantastic. And what that number also does not capture is over $23,000 in contributions that are set up to auto pay through Realm that don't have a pledge attached. So with that included, our total is $393,779 to be exact. So if you know you've set up a recurring payment in Realm but you haven't submitted a pledge specifically for the 2026 operating budget, please submit a pledge card or talk with us after the service so we can verify that number. When numbers don't line up, I get headaches that medical science has been unable to explain. So if you'd like to think about increasing that recurring pledge, we'd also appreciate you thinking about that. During the formal campaign last year, we received 104 pledges. Our final tally for the 2026 campaign before service this morning was 136 pledges. We asked you all to please get your pledges in early, and you really delivered on that. That really helps us out in planning and providing the board and finance committee the best information possible. If you haven't pledged yet and are prepared to do so this morning, we'll have an opportunity to do that in a couple of minutes, and you can always see one of us with fashionable badges after the service. I also want to make a note for our friends who are not formal members or to newcomers who aren't members yet. Realm, our online pledge portal, doesn't always play nice with non-members, but you can still pledge to support the work that we do through other means if you feel moved to do so. Stewardship team is happy to help you register your pledge manually so we can count that toward our 2026 goal. Stewardship, it seems to me, is a funny thing because it is both an operational function, a necessary operational function of the church, but also, as we've heard over the course of this month, an exercise of our shared values. We do our best on the stewardship team to set a reasonable expectation so the board knows how to budget for the coming year, so our goal can't be entirely untethered from reality. But at the same time, we're very fortunate on the stewardship team because our pledge campaign is an opportunity to strive towards something without knowing if we're going to make it. We still have a couple of months left in 2025. I don't know if we're going to hit our $425,000 goal. Early on, we had to ask ourselves, is that $425,000 a reasonable goal? Can we be justified in our hope of achieving that? And maybe we can, maybe we can't. Your collective generosity and commitment this October suggests that that hope was not misplaced. It's been incredibly inspiring. But from a certain perspective, justification isn't always necessary. Hope doesn't demand or expect justification. As a liberal religious community, sometimes having hope is enough. All month long, we've been asking you, what is UUS a home for you? And that's my answer. UUS is a place where I can be forgiven for having irrational, joyful hope. It's a place that gives me permission to believe in the possibility of a better world that we all can build together. And that's because of all of you Thank you all one more time for everything that you do that builds hope. Thank you for the commitments that you've made to UUS over the past month. Thank you all so much for being here today to celebrate with us.
So, throughout the month, the stewardship team has been adding bricks to this house. And now, as we mark the end of this phase of our stewardship campaign, it is time to make it even more festive and add even more bricks. If your household has already made a pledge or submitted a request for a waiver, we're going to invite you up to come up and put a sticker on any of the bricks. It doesn't matter if it's your brick, who knows really. Any of the bricks that are already on the house. Alan and Madison are going to be moving to stand or sit around there with stickers that are hearts and stars and smiley face and goodies and animals and all sorts of things. So pick the ones that you like and go stick them on a brick. If you're waiting for today to submit a pledge and we want to add you, if you talked with stewardship folks before the service, Chris has already added your brick for you. So just come on up and put a sticker on a brick. If you didn't have a chance to work with stewardship folks yet before the service, Lucy and Pete have pledge forms that you can put things so you can still get bricks added. If you're online, Jeff Wahlberg is taking additional pledges that way. And we're going to want everyone, regardless of whether you're, and if you're new, we also want you to come on up and help decorate, even if you haven't submitted a pledge yet, because you are an emerging part of our community. And finally, since we've gotten almost to 400,000, 394,000 is pretty close, and I'm going to hold out hope that we might get to 400,000 by the end of today. In pledges today, during our celebration after the service, we're going to be adding to my tattoos by giving me as many temporary tattoos as pledges have come in. As of now, that's 136. So this is going to be an adventure. If you have already submitted a pledge, as you come up, do this whole thing. I'm going to have some tattoos, some temporary tattoos. We're not going to tattoo me right now. We're going to do that during the celebration. But I want you to pick out a tattoo that you like, okay? So that we're going to add those to me later. So now, while Xinghui plays, come on up, add a sticker, whoever you are, come and submit a pledge. We got this. And pick a tattoo out for me.
That was great. It's fun to be back in kindergarten. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and our love, and live into love and justice. After today's service, we'll gather in the fellowship hall for a special celebration with performances from a few of our members and a screening of an updated reel of members talking about how UUS is a home for hope for them. We hope all long-timers and newcomers both will join us for the celebration. The Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a Compassionate Connection Circle in the Walnut Room over here around 11:20 after the performances.
Our closing hymn for this morning is number 1028, The Fire of Commitment. Please rise in body or in spirit.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
And so, as you go out into the world this day and this week, may you go noticing when that little voice of scarcity rears its little head and starts whispering in your ear, and may you go inviting yourself into a life of abundance and generosity. Go in peace, love, and justice, living love ever more fully and fiercely into this world. Amen. And blessed be. Now for our traveling music, we're going to sing our song one last time. I know I saw some kids from RE head into the fellowship hall, but you might want to come in to participate in this fun song as Andy comes on up to lead us one more time. Okay.
I'm glad there's still a few people out in the congregation.